and that's her daddy. He came to make sure I drove carefully, drove my machine carefully while I got here. The story today is so old that there's nobody living today that knows who the first person was that told it. It is so old that nobody even knows who the first person was that wrote it down on a piece of paper or put it in a book. So I went to the computer this morning. Raise your hand if y'all get on the computer once in a while. I went to the computer this morning and I typed into the computer. You know you can ask your computer questions. You can ask it stuff. I said, who wrote, and I put the name of this story in. And you know what it said? It said it's a fable or a folk story. And nobody knows who wrote it. It is so old. And it's been, can you wait just a minute, okay? It is so old, and it's been told by so many different storytellers that it's got 2 names, and maybe more. They had a whole list of them on the computer. And it's so old that you've heard it before, some of you, a lot of you. And now I'm going to ask you a question, and if you'd like to answer the question, would you please raise your hand? All right, listen to the question first. In the story about Chicken Little and Henny Penny, what was it that the character, Henny Penny, thought was going to happen? Raise your hand. What do you think?
The sky was going to fall.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And in the story, what was it that really hit her on the head?
Acorn.
Exactly. That is exactly right. Now, I brought an acorn, and I might have lost it. It's so little. Our yard is just full of these. And yours too, probably, because they're all falling off the trees. This is what hit her on the head. But you know something? I was watching the news the other night, and I heard them say on the news that the business community thought that the sky was falling. Do you really think that that's what they really thought? Raise your hand if you think what they really thought.
They just probably heard something like that.
What do you think? Was it something? Yeah, they
They
didn't really hear anything. It was on the news. What do you think they thought?
I think they really saw is that it's like they were looking, like staring, and it got closer and closer.
Actually, what do you think?
Maybe it was like maybe somebody was like in an airplane and they like break a hole through the window and they were going like.
Well, what they really thought was something bad was going to happen. It could have been about the airplane, like he said, or it could have been somebody said that something made a noise and it's going to. But what they really thought was something bad was going to happen. They didn't think the sky was really going to fall. Okay. Now, if you got some questions, remember them, and we'll do it later. You know, and I know, and Ms. Meadows knows, and Sydney's daddy knows, and Sydney knows, that lots of stories start once upon a time. I'm going to ask you to say that with me.
Once upon a time.
Now, there's some parts in the story that you are going to have to help tell, so get ready, because you know this story. And this time I'm going to call her Henny Penny, but Chicken Little is the right name too.